Hello, my beautiful friend. Welcome back to the Identity Glow Up podcast. It is me, your host, Paige Harper, and I am here to help you become your most epic, amazing, next level boss bitch, badass identity ever. I messed up that intro, but you get what I'm trying to say. You can pick up what I'm putting down. But I am so excited for today's episode, and I'm running short on time, so I'm really hoping I can not be super chatty because your girl's booked, bougie, and busy today. But before we get started officially today, please go ahead and just take a minute to subscribe. If you have not already, leave a 5-star rating and review because it does help the podcast reach so many other amazing women just like you. And also make sure you're following me on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, my broadcast channel, all of the places. I am active, full social media takeover mode in all of the places. Oh, and YouTube also, by the way. I will put the links in the show notes for you so that way it's easy for you to go get there. But go ahead and follow me on those if you haven't already, and then come and say hi. I don't bite. Come and say hi in the DMs. I would love to chat with you. But happy Tuesday. As you all know, well, most of you, I record these on a Monday, and I actually officially go back to work the day that this is going to go live. It is my first official day back to work, my full-time pharmacist job in 10 days. And I am so sad about it. I am so incredibly sad about it because this whole past week, the past 10 days, I was able to work my business like I was a full-time boss bitch business owner, right? And during this whole week, 10 days, whatever, I had so many lessons. I was talking to my coach about it. And there were so many lessons, like personally and professionally, that I learned, as well as so many like quantum leaps and just overall so much growth in myself as a human, in myself as a business owner. And plus, I started 75 Hard last week, which I believe I told you about. And so, just like so many things happened all at one time. And I just feel, and I said this a few weeks ago, but I feel this massive shift that's happening within me. It's like these quantum leap. I thought I had quantum leapt, whatever, before. But now it's like a whole new thing. Like I really feel like I'm stepping into who I'm supposed to become, which is so cool. And like I said, I am on day 8 of 75 Hard officially today. So tomorrow will be when this goes live, it will be day 9. And other than my shoulder muscle literally feeling like it's about to break off of my body, which today it feels a little bit better, thank goodness. It's been great. I'm not doing this to lose weight. I'm doing it more of like a mental toughness type of thing because I'm kind of I've kind of made myself the no excuses coach. I have decided that is who I am. That is kind of the brand that I am building because I feel like too many women are coddling themselves and have people coddling them and telling them it's okay to play small. It's okay to not, grow yourself. It's okay to have all these excuses. And I had to give up my excuses. And that's something that I want to help other women give up as well. And so I'm like, how far can I take it? How far can I take it? And so that's where 75 Hard comes into play. This week has been super easy because I didn't have to work my full-time job. But now that I'm adding in 10 and a half hours of a pharmacist job on top of it, I don't know how it's going to go. So we shall see. But we're getting it done. And maybe by the end of the 75 days, I'll be down to at least part-time in my full-time job. So manifesting it. Fingers crossed, toes crossed, all of the things. We're manifesting it. We're doing the shit. Okay, so getting right into the episode here, because like I said, I'm running short on time today. As you can tell by the podcast title, which is a little bit out there, a little bit maybe some people are going to be pissed about it, but it's fine. This podcast episode is about balance, but probably not in the way that you normally see it. Because normally people want to teach you how to balance out being like a mom and a wife and a business owner, a friend, all of these things. But I feel like balance in a way that they are saying, or balance in the way that we are kind of making it for ourselves, is very much so a lie. And it's kind of transformed over time into something that's more of a lie. Maybe it didn't start out that way. Maybe I think that everybody has very good intentions when we talk about trying to do balance, but it's transformed more into this lie that we tell ourselves so that way we don't have to go do the scary things. We don't have to get out of our comfort zone. We don't have to go after our dreams. And it's almost like we've transformed this word balance into our brain sees it as like splitting up our time equally between all of the places, right? And then boom, magic, crazy, your balance. Like it's kind of like on a scale, right? You have like 50% here and 50% here, and it evens out. Everything's amazing. But like when you see that, it's like, okay, yeah, if you split your time evenly in all the places, you are balanced, sure. Like on like a, I guess a scientific level. I don't know if that's like an actual way to word that, but you get what I'm saying. Like, sure, you are balanced, but when was the last time that that actually worked for you? When was the last time that splitting your time between all of the things that you loved evenly actually worked for you and you could actually do it long term? Because when you do that, you are so effing exhausted. You are so exhausted. And even after like all of that quote unquote balance, why? Well, it's because you have this, it's almost like this constant mental tug of war that's happening inside your brain, especially as a mom. Okay. And this is the one where you never fully, like, you're never fully where you are. Never fully. Because we're trying so hard to maintain this balance. And so you end up feeling like you're failing everywhere, everywhere, because you're not fully present anywhere because you're too worried about achieving that balance that we're like, okay, how do I balance this out? And so you're not even fully present, fully there. And if you're understanding, if you're picking up what I'm putting down, make sure you're leaving a comment on Spotify or a comment on YouTube and or reaching out to me via DM. But the way that I've been viewing is this, and when I was thinking back about like how I've grown my business and how I'm able to quote unquote do it all, because it's a question I get asked a lot. I get asked a lot, how do I do it all? Because as if you guys have been listening for a while, you know, I'm a mom of two boys. I have a 7-year-old and a 6-year-old. I am a wife. My husband and I just celebrated our 9-year anniversary last week. I'm a full-time pharmacist right now. I have been for 11 years. I am a business owner that I fit in any time that I possibly can, essentially like a full-time job fit into like a PRM position. Sorry, I just hit my desk. I don't know if you heard that on the mic, but I have like that on top of that. Plus I involve myself in cheer. I did step back a little bit a couple years ago, but I am still involved in cheer in my hometown. And I'm also graduated up to the president of the PTO at the elementary school. So I divide myself in a lot of places. And if I divided myself, quote unquote, evenly in all of those places, holy shit. Holy shit. Like I wouldn't be able to get anything done. I would feel so exhausted all of the time. But yet somehow, and yes, I'm still exhausted by the end of the day, but who isn't, right? Who isn't? But somehow I'm able to quote unquote do it all. And I was looking back on like how that was possible for me. And I feel like for so long, I interpreted balance as like if you just even like a wife, business owner, or a kid, like being a mom and a business owner, a lot of us view this balance as like, okay, 50% mom, 50% business owner, or 50% wife, 50% entrepreneur. And anytime I say mom, you can fit in anything else there, dog mom, cat mom, even just like a woman, just you, whatever. But 50% not president, 50% present, 50% productive, right? And so then what ends up happening is, especially what I was doing and what I've noticed in my clients is that I was starting to become half present everywhere. And let me know if this is you. Let me know if this is something that you do, where like you're making dinner, but you're thinking about your business. You're working your business, but you're thinking about your kids. Which, like, I mean, I get it. I think about my kids a lot too. They're really freaking cute. Of course, I think about my kids, but like so much so that it's a distraction that you can't get your work done because it's more of like a guilt thing, right? Maybe you're on a date night, but you're thinking about your to-do list. You're talking all about your business. That's all you can talk about. You're at a baseball game. My kids are in baseball and you're answering DMs. You're answering client messages while your kids are talking to you. And then for me, I will admit this, I would get pissed when they were talking to me. I'm like, can mommy just finish this one thing? Even though I was supposed to, in that moment, be present with them. But I was trying to balance everything out so much that it was end up like I wouldn't be able to focus solely on one thing at a time because I'm like, well, I need to be 50% here and 50% here. So how do I do that? How do I do that? Right? Or you're building your dream while you're simultaneously feeling guilty for having one in the first place. I feel like a lot of women struggle with that one. So a moment of silence for that one. No matter where you are. Basically, like if you look at this, so no matter where you are, part of you is somewhere else, and you end up like carrying this constant internal conflict because you're trying to maintain this balance. And so instead of having it be something that's like, oh, this feels nice, I'm balanced, there's a conflict and you feel like, holy shit, I'm not doing anything right. Nothing is working for me. I can't balance. I'm not good at balancing. I need better work-life balance. No, you just need to be 100% in all of the places. And that's possible, which we'll talk about in a minute. But the thing is when I was figuring out what this was and why I was struggling with balance so much is because I thought about it and it's like, okay, it's not the balance. It's not balance. I don't need balance to achieve this amazing life where I have this like kick-ass business and also I am the best mom that I have always dreamed of being, right? But it's learning, it's not about the balance, it's learning about how to have fewer internal battles. Right? We have all of these internal battles within ourselves. Like, are we doing the right thing? Are we showing up in the right way? Are we being balanced in everything? Are we having this like work-life balance that everybody thinks that we need to have? The thing that's stealing your presence isn't your business, it's the guilt. And so if you're a mom and you're like, oh, well, I am not able to grow a business the way that I want to because I'm a mom and I need to make sure that I'm putting a lot of my time towards my kids. Yeah, sure, I get it. And also, that's a bunch of bullshit because you can grow a business and be successful in growing a business while also being very, very present with your kids. The thing that is not allowing you to grow your business is one, excuses, and two, you are not like it's guilt. It's guilt that you're even growing the business in the first place, that you're taking away time from your kids in the first place. The thing that's stealing your focus from your business isn't motherhood. It's the fact that you're questioning yourself every damn day. Should I be working? Should I be with my kids? Should I be doing more? Should I be doing less? Am I getting this wrong? Like this constant questioning of ourselves, this constant, like, am I even doing the right thing? Which all leads into guilt. And I feel like at some point over the last year, I realized that the mental exhaustion, I had developed such mental exhaustion around everything in my life, everything, which is not great. It's not great for anything. It's not great for me. It's not great for my relationship. It's not great for my business. It's not great for my, like, being a mom, right? And I realized that I was the mom who, like I said earlier, would get mad when her kids would interrupt her while she was replying to a DM, even though technically it was family time. I realized I was the business owner who was scrolling my time away during my quote unquote business hours that I would set for myself. And then I felt so stressed with my family. And I was constantly thinking about my business because I wasn't 100% present in my business. I was giving 50% of my time to my business, but I wasn't 100% present during that time. And so I was trying to achieve this balance by like time wise, but it wasn't actually doing shit for me. I realized I was the woman that was experiencing like guilt in working like, instead of keeping my kids home with me, I was working. And so I was like, oh my gosh, on Mondays when I'm keeping my kid, when I'm working my business, should I be keeping my kids home? Oh my gosh, I'm a horrible mom. And I also realized I was the mom who wanted to do it all. I've always been that person. I've always been the person that wanted to do it all. And so I figured out a way to do it. I figured out how to be so obsessed with every part of my life and so focused during the times that I had. So focused during the times that I had with my kids, so focused with the times that I had during with my husband, with my business, all the things, focused during those times. And I prioritized things that needed to be prioritized. And when I realized that, I'm like, holy shit, I don't need balance. I don't need balance. Because when I try to go into this balance and make it this perfect balance, I end up making myself feel so freaking guilty. What I do need is to give myself permission to be 100% in all areas, not just 50%, not just 20%, not evenly spreading it out, but 100% in all areas all of the time. Which, like, you're like, okay, how does that work? It does, I promise you. It does. My perception of balance had to change. And that's the thing is it's not about like changing what balance is. It's changing what your perception of it is because we're using this perception of balance to make us feel guilty about what we're doing and who we are and that we have big dreams and goals on top of being a mom. Right. And so the perception of balance had to change where it's not, am I spending the same amount of time with my family as I am my business? But instead of asking myself that question, I had to ask myself, like, am I being 100% in both during the time that I do have? Like, me personally, I don't want a balanced life. I don't want a balanced life. And I know that maybe like I don't know, somebody made fun of me the other day for saying clutch my pearls moment, but it may be for you where you're like, oh, gotta turn the podcast off. No, no. Okay, if that doesn't vibe with you, that's fine. But like, I don't want a balanced life. I want a full life. I want to be 100% in my business when I'm building. I want to be 100% in my offers. I want to be 100% in my mission. I want to be 100% in on my clients. I want to be 100% in on what my soul is pulling me to. And also, when I quote unquote come home, I work from home. So I'm already home, but you get what I'm saying. When I step out of my office and I come quote unquote home, I want to be 100% with my kids. I want to be 100% with my husband. I want to be 100% with this life that we've created, not divided, not fragmented, not constantly wondering if I should be someone else or, well, not be someone else, but be somewhere else, but present, like fully present, fully present. It's like an on-off switch, which, I've done like trainings and stuff in the past where I'm like, it's not just an on-off switch, but to me, this has become an on-off switch. I've had to make it an on-off switch because otherwise, if I'm just like, okay, I don't even know if on-off switch is the right word, but it's like I can turn my obsession to my business on. When it's time, it is on. I am fully present. I'm 100% all in. I'm not worried about how many hours I have here or how many hours I have there. I'm not worried about balancing in that way, but I'm 100% in. And then when it comes to my kids and it's time, flip off the business owner switch, turn on the mom switch, and I'm 100% all in on my kids. Am I perfect at that? No. No. I fail sometimes. I suck sometimes. I get too into scrolling sometimes. Yes, but the majority of my time, I have this life that I have built where I am present 100% of the time instead of worried about being balanced 100% of the time. Right? And don't get me wrong, and some people won't want to hear this, but yeah, there will be sacrifices. There will be. And I've learned recently that that's kind of a trigger to some people, but there will be sacrifices. You may have to wake up before everyone else. You may have to skip watching TV. I watch TV every couple of weeks. I'll watch like an episode of The Summer I Turned Pretty. Like I am so far behind in all my shows unless I'm like working my full-time job and I have it on as background noise. But like you may have to skip watching TV. You may have to work while the house is quiet, meaning before they wake up or after they go to bed. Like sacrifice that time. You may have to say no to things, right? You may have seasons where you're building something extraordinary and so it takes more time and maybe you are spending more time away from your kids, but the time that you are with your kids is so focused. And the way that you do this is totally up to you. Totally up to you. Because the thing is the sacrifices are intentional and they are all about you and what you want to do and how you want to build the business. There's no one right only way to build a business. And so one person's sacrifices are going to look different than another person's, and that's okay, right? That's okay. It's not the sacrifice itself that creates the misery. It's the resentment and the guilt we give ourselves around that sacrifice. I can tell you from like I am someone that I have to sacrifice time with like my morning routine and all of these things, and sometimes there's been like one or two games that I haven't been able to make of my kids' baseball game, or not even games, practices, I think, of my kids' baseball stuff because I had a meeting or I had something going on. But 99% of the things that he had going on, field trips, I think I went on almost every single, if not every single field trip this year. The baseball games, basketball games, practices, all of these things, guess what? 99% of the 99% of the time I was present there. So like my sacrifice is going to look different than yours. And yeah, there may be some times where like I am in a big launch and I need a little bit more time like on my computer than normal and maybe not with my kids as much. That is a sacrifice that I'm willing to make in this season of life because that is where I'm going right now. I'm growing my business, and those are some sacrifices I have to make. If that's not what you want to do, I'm not here to judge you either way. But there are sacrifices that you have to make. They're going to look different to different people, right? So the problem is when you sacrifice and still feel guilty, because every extraordinary life requires some kind of sacrifice. If you want to build an extraordinary life, there's going to be some kind of sacrifice. And again, it's going to look different for everybody. But here's how I see it. I see it as balance, like the word balance, the way that we've been thinking of it. It requires you to like split or divide yourself. And I'm just not about that. I'm just not about that. But if we change that balance, if we change that word to presence, presence requires you to devote yourself. Balance divides. Presence devotes. And those are two obviously completely different things, right? Balance says, let's give a little here. Let's give a little there. Let's give a little everywhere. Let's just sprinkle a little as long as it's even. Let's just sprinkle a little bit everywhere. But presence says, I'm going to be all here and then I'm going to be all there. I'm not going to be divided, but I'm going to be devoted. I'm going to devote this amount of time that I have put for myself here. And then I'm going to devote this amount of time that I've put for my kids here, right? Divided versus devoted. Balance versus presence. I don't know about you, but presence sounds a lot, hell of a lot better than balance does, right? And so through this whole process, I developed this concept of, and we've talked about it before, but I developed this concept of rooted and relentless woman, right? And this woman, when I developed this concept of who I am, because like I call myself a boss bitch, I call myself a queen, like, and when I was talking to my coach about it, I was like, I am rooted in my family, in my values, and all these things, but I'm also relentless AF. I go after my dreams. I hustle hard, sometimes too hard, right? Like I go all in. But when I think of the rooted and relentless woman, that woman is not balanced. She's not balanced. She's rooted with the relentless attached to it. Again, she's rooted in her values. She's rooted in her family. She's rooted in what matters 100%. And she's relentless about her mission. She's relentless about her dreams. She's relentless about the life that she's creating and why she was put on this earth. She stopped believing that she had to choose. She stopped believing that she had to apologize for wanting them both, for wanting to be this kick ass business owner that makes a shit ton of money, and also wanting to be this kick ass mom that's like a super mom that does it all. The rooted and relentless woman, she stopped shrinking her ambition to prove that she's a good mom. I don't have to shrink my goals and my ambition and the amount of time that I work my business to prove that I'm a good mom. I know I'm a damn good mom. I just know I am. Right? And the rooted and relentless woman, she stopped shrinking her motherhood in order to prove she's ambitious. I also, on the same token, where like, I don't have to take time away from my business to prove, or like not even work my business to prove I'm a good mom. I also don't have to like be the opposite. My brain just like had a brain fart. Like I don't have to be the opposite. I don't have to shrink in motherhood. I don't have to completely like stop being present for my kids to prove that I'm a good business owner, to prove that I'm ambitious. The rooted and relentless woman and the woman that I became over the last year is I just became fully her. Capital Her, her. Like I became fully her, this woman that goes all in on every aspect of her life that she wants. I always knew I wanted to be a mom. I did not always know I wanted to be a business owner, but as soon as I realized it, holy hell, I skyrocketed in my like passion, in my purpose, in my hustle, in my relentlessness. But that doesn't take away from me being ambitious as a mom as well, like being ambitious in a way of like, I want to be the best damn mom around, right? And I know a lot of women who are feeling stuck right now. I hear it a lot. But my question to you is, what if the reason you're feeling stuck is because you're trying to divide yourself into pieces that are small enough for everyone else to be comfortable with? And also for it to fit your like narrative of like what balance is. Because stuck is a choice. Stuck is a choice, and it's due to choosing to believe this balanced narrative. And if you're like me, you're wanting to be the amazing, like super mom, like the superwoman, right? You're wanting to be the incredible wife. You're wanting to be involved in your community, and you're wanting to build an absolutely incredible business that will be the start of your legacy for all of the things aforementioned. Is that a word? Words are hard. Anyway, I'm here to tell you that it's possible because I'm creating it. I'm doing it. You just have to give yourself the permission to fully own all of who you are. All of it. Not just part of it because you feel like you're going to be judged. Not just part of it because you feel guilty, but all of it. You have to give yourself permission to be obsessed with and go all in on every single thing that you do 100%. I am obsessed with being a mom. And I know some people are going to take this wrong and be like, she's telling you to not be with your kids enough. She's telling you to sacrifice that time with your kids. That's not what I'm telling you. I'm telling you that when you have time with your kids, be 100% all there. My kids know how much I love them. My kids know how much I adore them. I am there on every single thing that they do. I am there 90 to 99% of the time because they know I am that mom that is going to, I would jump in front of a bus for them. And also, I am a woman who has ambitions and has passions, and I'm allowed to go after those too. Like becoming this rooted and relentless woman has grown my relationship with my kids. It's strengthened my friendships and my partnership just in general that I have with my husband. It's built a whole new level of love even for myself and exponentially and financially changed my business. And it's all because I said F balance and I stopped letting what I thought was like, I stopped letting it control my life. I stopped letting this balanced narrative control every aspect of my life. So for me, like talking to you directly, I feel like Time for you to stop being exhausted from trying to split yourself in half and balancing it all. Half mom, half entrepreneur, half productive, half in your dreams, half in your life. Like bullshit. Bullshit. And maybe nobody has given you that permission to stop doing that. Maybe nobody has told you that you don't have to choose. You can have them all. You don't have to shrink your ambition to prove that you're a good mother. You don't have to shrink your motherhood to prove that you're ambitious. You don't have to spend the next 10 years living one foot in your business and one foot in your family. You can jump all in both. In both. And women who create this extraordinary life that they want, like build this extraordinary life, build this extraordinary business, they aren't balancing the way that everyone thinks that they should. They're deciding, they're committed, like they're committing, they're becoming, and they're rooted and relentless AF. Okay. And honestly, all of this, like coming to terms with all of this and really realizing what I've done in all of this, because you do all these things and you transform as a human, as a woman, as a business owner, as a mom, as a wife, and then trying to look back and be like, holy shit, how did I do that? And so I put it all together and I created this brand new free masterclass that I'm so freaking excited about. And it's called Balance is a Lie. I was going to call it F balance, but I don't really say the F word on, I say it in real life, don't get me wrong, but I don't really say it on like my podcast or like on social media. So I was like, I don't want to just walk around and be like, F balance. So I called it Balance as a Lie instead. And this is a free masterclass on how to use obsession to grow your business while being a mom who does it all at the same time, because it is 100% possible. I am living proof. And I mean, even as extra proof, my kids they spent the night at their grandparents this weekend. They went from one grandparent to another, and they had the option to spend the night at my mother-in-law's again last night. And you know what? They didn't want to because they love their mama and they wanted to spend more time with their mama. I know I'm a good mom, and I'm also ambitious AF. Okay. And they didn't want to spend more time with me because they're like, oh, you never see them. No, no, no. It's because I'm freaking amazing. Okay. Okay. And they missed me and they wanted to just cuddle with me all the time. And I will take all of the cuddles all of the time with my phone way in the other room. Okay. So anyway, this free masterclass, Balance is a Lie. This is really to help you break free from the identity that is keeping you stuck. And inside this masterclass, I'm going to show you why balance is actually making you feel more exhausted, the biggest lie ambitious mothers have been told, how guilt is silently stealing your presence in both motherhood and business, the identity shift that allows you to stop feeling torn between the life that you're building and the people that you love. And then also my rooted and relentless framework that has completely changed the way that I approach business, motherhood, marriage, and honestly, just my whole entire life, just in general. Because I know that you're capable of more. I know that you're capable of building a wildly successful business. I know that you're capable of creating a life that feels aligned and fulfilled and meaningful and freaking extraordinary, but not if you keep dividing yourself into pieces. So, if you are done living like half present everywhere, and if you're ready to stop apologizing for your dreams, if you are ready to become the woman that is fully devoted to the life that she is creating as a mom, as a wife, as a business owner, fully like ready to become fully devoted to all of those things, then I need you to come join me inside the Balance is a Lie free masterclass. And it's going to be on Tuesday, June 16th at 7 p.m. Eastern. There will be a recording if you can't be there live, but I promise you, you're going to want to be there live. The energy is always so much better. So much better. So the link will be in the show notes to join. And I am so freaking excited. I have a massive goal of getting 50 women in here to help them like really realize how much they're holding themselves back, how much they're holding themselves back because of this balance bullshit, and how show them how possible it is for them to have these big dreams and have these big goals and also be like the best damn mom around and be the one that's like, wait, you're going to all of the field trips? You're going to all of the games and all of the practices and doing all of these things, and yet you're still growing a business? How, like, you're going to get the question, how do you do it all and still look like you're not like stressed out at all, still look like you're like living your best life? You're going to start getting asked that question too. Also, my dog is like yelling right now. I hope that you can't hear that. But Okay, I have to hop on my next meeting. Can't believe that I finished that. I really didn't think I was going to. That is all I have for you today. If you have loved this episode, please make sure that you share it to your stories with your takeaway or your favorite part. And as always, tag me so I can see who is listening and share to my stories too. I love having conversations with the women and sharing the women that are going all in on their dreams and really loving the podcast. And I just had somebody actually post about the podcast the other day and it brought a tear to my eye. Like, holy shit, I'm doing this. Like, this is insane. And I love being able to help women see what they're capable of based off of my words and my experience and all the things. I'm going to stop before I get too sappy and I am late to my meeting, but please make sure you go join the masterclass, get your friends to join the masterclass, dog mom, cat mom, like mom, grandma. I don't care. I don't care. Join the masterclass. Can't wait to see you there June 16th. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. I will talk to you again next week. Love you. Bye.